Okay, this is kind of a response to my past video I just posted regarding bearing clearance on the engines. So here's the old wagon here. So I've been out driving around. I just went out for a rip around town here, and so I wanted you to see the oil pressure at full operating temperature here. And I'm running a 180 thermostat, and this I've never had issues with running hot, even in the summer and stuff like that. I guess with the all comes down to your total clearances and also your engine's state of tune. So anyways, I just wanted to show this. So here I am idling, you can see the tach's buzzing right around 1,000 there. Normal kind of idle RPM. And here's my, you see the water temperature and you can see the oil pressure. And I'll see if I can get the tach in there so you can kind of see it. So yeah, I mean this has it's always had good oil pressure, and as far as bearing clearances, it's similar to the 396 that I'm putting together. It would be a little bit it'll be a little bit tighter, but it's definitely, I'm gonna say I'm between that 2.5 to 3 thousandths overall. So a little bit, the 396 is slightly marginally looser, but for all intents purposes, because there's been talk about ideal, so I would say for my intended purpose and what I'm doing with this vehicle, I would say that it is ideal. Just pull in the garage here. Shut this off. All right. Okay. This isn't upside down or something like that. So, yeah, and I obviously the grade of oil. I mean, I usually run 1540 or 2050. Which some might be, well, that makes sense there, why your oil pressure's high, thicker oil and stuff like that. Yeah, if this are my vehicles, if I was driving them year round and going to be starting them up in the winter, I wouldn't be running that great of oil either. But everybody's got their kind of preference and that. But even at 3,000. These are just different numbers from different engines. This was the last 396 I built. There's my main bearings, 3,000, 2.8 on the rods, and thrust 6,000. And same thing, like I had pretty much 40 pounds at idle, and up max is probably 65 max, I would say, when I'm winding her up. And 3,000 might be, maybe that's not ideal for some, but I don't see a problem running 3,000 bearing clearances. And if you look at the OEM spec from back in the day, it's still within the limits. Just have a look at an old old manual from back in the day, and you'll see what I mean there. Another question I was asked was about the gauge, the dial board gauge, and one of the comments was suggesting that looks like I have the Fowler, and yeah, 100% it is the Fowler gauge. And this one I have, you can see the accuracy is down to 5/10 thousandths of an inch, 5/10 thousandths of an inch, or a half a thou. And is that accurate enough for what I'm doing? Absolutely. Now, if I was machining in a machine shop and I was resizing somebody's connecting rods, yeah, I would probably want to use change out the gauge and get one that goes right down to 1/10 thousandths of an inch. But even at that, if you had a connecting rod that had a half a thou or 5/10 thousandths, if it was a half a thou or 5/10 thousandths out, say it was out around, or even that tape, you know, a half a thou taper, yeah, it's, you know, it's not perfect, but would you have any issues running that in your combination? I would bet money that for probably 99.9% of the builds out there, it wouldn't affect anything. But that's purely an opinion, unless somebody else has got something where they had a rod, or if they had something that was a half a half a thou or 5/10 thousandths out of spec, and it caused any real issues. But before this, I was using good old Plastigauge, which I see lots of videos saying you can't use it. Well, yeah, you can. And yeah, it works totally fine. It's not going to tell you exact numbers, but you're going to know whether or not you're in the range. You know, so I don't know. For folks who say that you can't use it, well, I guess I've just been lucky on every engine I've put together prior to having these gauges. I mean, obviously this is the better way to go. I'm not arguing that, but you know what? For someone that's just building an engine, maybe they're going to build one once and that's it. The old Plastigauge will suffice. It'll get her done. Yeah. Anyways, that's about that. I haven't got any more work done on the 396, but there'll be more to come. So that's it. Just wanted to talk a little bit about bearing clearance, how it relates to oil pressure, and realistically, it comes down to application, what you're going to be doing with your engine, your build. Is it, you know, are you going to drag racing lots? Is it a daily driver? You know, weather, climate, and then really, once it's in the car, overall how it's running, the tune-up on the vehicle and everything. Obviously, all those things factor into the overall how the engine's running, and that for temperature-wise and things like that. But yeah. You can see, or I'm saying, most of the engines I build, if the range is 2 to 3 thou or whatever, I'm normally favoring closer to the looser tolerance, not out of spec, but to the looser side. And it's just the way I do it. Am I going to build every single engine like that? No, probably not. But most of the stuff, it's just usually what I end up with. Anyways, yeah, I'd be curious if anybody's had issues, or you know, found out something different, or throw the comments out. I'm curious to know. But that's all I got for today. Thanks.